Gauteng Alternative Education Expo for 2022. I'm going to be interviewing Mark Anderson from COA Academy.
Correct.
Hi Mark, so could you please give like a short summary and maybe 2 values that describe your organization?
Simone, COA is an online school for grades 4 to 12, and we follow the IEB curriculum, and we do our whole service offering online, and sort of the core heart of everything that we do is our pods, but I'm sure I'll talk about that in a moment.
Okay, good. So can you maybe just explain a bit more how you are different from other online schools?
Yeah, sure. So I think this is the heart of what makes us different, is the idea of the pods. We decided when we first started COA, we wanted to be highly engaging in the online space. We spoke to a lot of parents, we spoke to a lot of kids and teachers, and it seemed like there were a lot of challenges that they were experiencing with the online space. You know, kids would say things like, "I miss my friends." Teachers would say things like, I'm in a class and everybody's camera off, mic off, and I don't know if they're actually with me. Parents would say things like, my child's in the bedroom, are they just playing Fortnite all day? Like, what's going on in there? I feel disconnected. And everything that everyone was saying, we felt like had a root common cause of disengagement. And so when we started COA, we decided our number one sort of aim would be to be an online school that's highly engaging. And so that all boils down for us to having small groups, 8 in a pod, and the 8 in the pod meet every day with their teacher. And so it's highly engaging, everybody can be seen, everybody can be heard.
Wonderful, like a little mini community.
Exactly, yeah. Think of sort of the micro school idea, but in the online space where you're part of a bigger community, but every day you're engaging with your small pod and getting to know each other really well. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And can you maybe also explain what does COA mean?
Yes, absolutely. So the name COA is a type of tree. It's an acacia tree. And the reason that we picked COA as the name of our school is because the wood of the COA tree is famous for being both strong and flexible. Which, when you hear those 2 words, it kind of sounds like they should be opposites. How can something be strong and flexible? You know, strong, we think of concrete, and flexible, we think of rubber. And how can something have the properties of both?
Yes.
But the wood of a COA tree can be used to, we shape it into things like the body of a guitar. And so it can take those beautiful curves and at the same time be robust and strong.
Yes.
Oftentimes you see wedding bands made of wood, and chances are good that that's COA wood. It's durable and it's lasting, but it's flexible, it's malleable. And we want that for our school. So we want our school to be a place that is robust academically, and our systems are strong. And at the same time, we have flexibility and adaptability and individualization. And we want it for the kids as well. We want the kids who leave COA to have those 2 qualities, for them to be robust individuals, but at the same time be adaptable, because they're going into a world that's changing every day.
Yeah, very important.
Yeah.
So when it comes to online learning, what are you excited about?
Oh, where do I start? I mean, the online world it gives us so many opportunities. It really does broaden our horizons. I think what I'm most excited about is the idea that we can access world-class resources, platforms, people, opportunities, and bring them straight into the classroom for the child to experience. And so, one of the things that we do is we don't see ourselves primarily as content creators. We see ourselves as content curators, bringing together the best that there is available, and see ourselves as experts in knowing which platforms are going to suit which kids the best. And another example there is we love to engage with real-world professionals. So we regularly have events where we invite real-world experts into our classrooms, and they do sessions with the kids, and the kids actually present their work.
Okay.
So I mean, imagine a child who's done a project on conservational biology, and rather than just getting a mark from their teacher, they actually get to present their work to a real-world zoologist who then gives them feedback and insight into their own work. So we love those opportunities. Yeah.
So can you give maybe an example of one scenario where that happened?
Yeah, absolutely. Next term, we've got what we call the Business Expo, which is happening, and our grades 4 to 9 will be all putting together a business proposal. And they have to dream up a business idea, and they actually have to try and launch it.
Wow.
So they go out into the real world, they do customer discovery and they market research, and then they try and launch their product and find their pricing fits and all those sort of things. And then it culminates in a day where we invite real world angel investors. So men and women who for a living invest in startup companies. And the kids actually present their work too. It's kind of like imagine a kid's version of Dragon's Den or Shark Tank, and they present, and then like the real world angel investors give them feedback and say, this is what I like about your business, what about this, and ask questions and sort of say what they like and what they wonder about each project. And so the kids are walking away with a mark. They they get a mark for business studies, but at the same time, they're getting that input from real-world experts.
Yeah, real-world preparation, which is what
absolutely,
it's about.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
And when you say that, we want our kids, when they leave COA, we want them to go into the real world and go, I expected this. I anticipated that this is what life would be like.
Yeah, I'm ready for
exactly,
it.
I'm prepared. Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
What we find historically with education in general is kids go into the real world and they think, was not ready for this at all.
Yeah. Yeah, wonderful. Okay, and then obviously another value is what's important is trust. So how do you build that trust between families and your academy?
I regularly say to people, you're not selling a pair of shoes when you're selling education. This is a big deal, and it matters to families. And so that idea of trust, that for us it boils down to relationship. Again, that idea of engagement. Can you engage easily with the school? What we're finding, unfortunately, is a lot of parents are finding it quite difficult to engage meaningfully with their school, their service provider. And so right from the start, we decided we want parents to easily be able to get in touch with us. Yeah. Pick up the phone and call us. They're going to make regular contact with their teachers. Yeah. At least twice a year. In the younger grades in particular, we actually invite the parents to come to morning sessions where the teacher is engaging with the child and the parent in a session together, so that the parent feels tied into, I know my teacher, I know my principal, I know where my child is, who's with my child during the day, who's accountable for what. That relationship really needs to be there. And then the other thing that we're doing is making sure that the lines of communication are live and open. So we have a live dashboard that at any time of day, the parent, the child, the teacher, there's a snapshot of the child's progress for every day, and it's live for the moment. So we can see as the child's progressing through their work, we can see how they're progressing. Every child has targets which are set specifically for them in terms of work, and they're held accountable to those tasks, to those targets by this dashboard where the parents feel included in, I have an understanding of my child's progress.
Great. Yeah, I must say, assessment is really a very crucial aspect to education. So it's great that you offer that support for parents.
Absolutely, and that's so true. Assessment is key, and we really try to think of assessment as it needs to be age appropriate. So the way that we do assessment in grade 4 is very different from how we do assessment in grade 11. And we need to make sure that it's not just cookie cutter, where we're en masse trying to produce and replicate as much as we can, but actually going, what makes sense for this age group at this moment in their development, what's most appropriate, and then build assessment into the program in a smart way.
Awesome. So just one quick question again is, what is your offering with age and levels? From what group to what group?
So we go from grade 4 right up to grade 12.
Okay,
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. In an online space, how do you sort of work on socializing some of the children?
Yes, this is such an important question because a lot of parents ask it, if we're going to join an online school, what about socialization? And this is critical to us, and it sort of comes in two parts. On the one hand, we say we have a role to play that's fundamental in your child's development in terms of creating children who are digitally native. So they're born into a digital world, and they're digital natives. To them, the digital world is just there. It's natural, it's normal, it's part of their life. But they're not digitally literate. So you're not automatically digitally literate just because you're a digital native. And our job as educators, as parents, is to help our children move from being digital natives to being digitally literate.
Yes.
And so when we think about socio-emotional development and we think about socialization, a lot of a child's socialization happens in the online space. And we see a critical role as Koa Academy in sort of creating a child who is equipped and confident and healthy in the online space in terms of socialization.
Yes.
And it comes back to those pods of 8 again, where the kids are interacting with each other in a meaningful way. They're not just logging in, like camera off, mic off, and then just absorbing information. They're actually involved. They're connecting with people. They're learning how to engage in the online space. Chances are good one day they'll interact with colleagues, in the online space in their workplace. And so, and then on the other hand, what we say to parents is, not only are we helping your child to become digitally literate and socialize in a really meaningful, healthy way online, we're also creating opportunities for family. We call it unbundling education, where families can plug into other opportunities outside of Koa.
Yes.
So you think of all the time and all the resources that are freed up by going with an option like Koa.
Yes.
You now have the opportunity to tap into, options in your area which lean into your child's strengths and interests. And now their socialization is not just limited to your one-stop shop school, where he's got or she's got a group of 5 or 10 friends, and that's kind of it. Those are the only groups that they socialize with. Actually, you open them up to a world of, you can join a dance studio down the road, or you can join a cricket club. And we've got partners who we partner with and offer our families opportunities in their area and online as well, where we're trying to broaden their socialization opportunities as much as we can and help them to see that actually if they unbundle their education and access a world of opportunities in their area, there's more opportunity for socialization than there was before.
Yes, agreed. So I was thinking, is the event like the Business Expo, is that also maybe a social aspect?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, an event like that is a larger event. So there we're connecting with the broader Koa community. So we have dozens of kids joining an online space where the parents are invited and family members are invited. And so that's more of a learning moment in terms of their work. With the online socialization, where I really see the gold is in that regular morning, we call it Pod Connect, where every morning the children are getting together in their pod of 8. They're connecting with each other. The teachers are leading them through activities which are intentionally designed to foster soft skills, because we know that soft skills are important. Schools have traditionally been very good at teaching hard skills and not so good at teaching soft skills. And so we're loving having the opportunity in our Pod Connect every morning to really target and foster those soft skills. And a lot of those are the skills that we use in our social development and our social interactions. And so we see kids coming in from all sorts of backgrounds and environments. And we see kids coming in with lots of different personalities. And they really come and shine because they've got a space to be themselves.
Yes.
They've got, they're one of 8. They know everybody knows them, and it gives them an opportunity to be themselves and to really interact in a healthy way.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
And just quickly, a last sort of question, and I'm sort of thinking, I've asked a few online schools this thought of, how do you allocate the children, and then is there any such thing like maybe if there's a cyberbullying incident, or do you have any system in place for that?
Yes, absolutely. So I think the two questions there are, firstly, how do we allocate the pods, and then secondly, cyberbullying. Let me start with the second, because it's the easy one, which is zero tolerance, and we take it very seriously. And if there is anything that comes to the fore where we feel like a child is not being treated fairly, then we engage that very directly. We have conversations with the parents and the child, and there's always the opportunity to place them in a pod where they feel more comfortable. When it comes to allocating pods in general, what we like to do is we like to geographically group kids together, because what we see is we do regular in-person events as well. And so we'll do an in-person social in Joburg, and we'll get a whole bunch of families together, and at that event kids start to realize, oh, you live 5 minutes away from me. And they start to connect with each other, and then before we know it, the next weekend they're having play dates, or hey, on Wednesday, why don't you come and work at my house and we'll do online school together. They can even be in different pods, but doing online learning in the same space, and they start connecting meaningfully together. So geographical location is important to us, and we group our kids together like that. Socio-emotional development is really key to us. And what I love here is that because of how we do our schooling, we can have kids who are socially and emotionally on the same plane as each other, but not necessarily doing the same grade work.
Okay.
So you can have a group of kids, a group of 8 together, and socially they're in the right place, but one child is doing maths from the year ahead, and another child is doing Afrikaans from the year behind. And the teacher is facilitating all of those learning paths individually without asking everybody to be doing the same work at the same time on the same day. And so that lets us really target that social-emotional level. And there are a few other factors that we look at. Did you make any friends last year in your pod who you'd like to be with again this year? But the two driving forces are geographic location and social-emotional development.
Oh, that's great. Very interesting. Thank you. And so where can people contact you?
So the best place to contact us is probably our website, www.koaacademy.com. That's koaacademy.com, and all the information's there.
Great. Thank you so much.
Super. Thank you.
Thank you.